So I closed my dance school in 2021 and it's 2023 right now. So almost 2 years. And it's been quite a process since then. Things have been quieter than I imagined that they would be. Yeah, my mind imagined, closing one thing and then, the door opening and things getting going and moving and building the new foundation and being busy doing other things in a different context. And life does not have that for me at the moment. Life is really asking me to learn how to sit in the quietness and to really understand the energetic flow of things and to witness when I'm in that flow and when I'm pushing it, and to only move when it comes from beingness, and only move when there's a true energetic invitation. And a big lesson over the last year, that's a lesson that's hitting me been hitting me on a physical level, is also not opening my mouth to talk unless there's a true invitation. Because when I open my mouth without an invitation, I just speak from my mental, I'm sorry, I'm going to say my mental bullshit, because that's what it is. And I feel the frequency of it now when I open my mouth and I speak without having had an invitation. It's like, I don't have a sense of what really is adequate to be spoken about, or I end up just speaking about stuff that doesn't matter, or I go with some kind of agenda that I'm trying to create that doesn't have to do with anything. And if I'm waiting in the energy field and that energy invites me in, then what actually comes out of my mouth is something that I'm not expecting. It's something from my very being. It's something in a way that, feels almost channeled, because I don't know what's going to come out. And more, I just, the feeling of moving and speaking from a place that isn't in that authenticity just feels disgusting in my body. But it's not, this is not easy. It's not an easy process. It's, when you move in the direction of being yourself, you hit all the walls of not the walls, but you get all the conditioning thrown back at you with a beautiful purpose, because then you face the conditioning as yourself and you change the story of your life. Not from a place of what you want your life to be, but from a place of surrendering to what your life is, which is completely different. And I reflect a lot. I'm very quiet. I'm very alone. The last, couple of years, I've spent most of my time alone, and most of my time pretty quiet, not talking to so much as I used to. And I'm reflecting a lot. And this topic has come up in the last months around me as a dancer and a teacher. And for example, one of my students, I'm teaching very little right now. I have just a small group, a couple of privates, like not teaching to the degree that I was before, but I love the context in what in which I'm doing it. I love it. It feels so free. I'm really enjoying it. My mind thinks that should be growing. My mind thinks like, why aren't you doing more? But this is what life is right now. And I had a student say today, how I should be dancing more. I should be on a stage. I should be teaching more. Why am I, just in this little corner teaching a few people? And anyway, basically, she's reflecting back to me my conditioning, which is what my mind says. Also, is like, why aren't I being recognized? Why don't more people want to learn from me? Why don't blah, 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 all the invitations, they're not coming? That's what my mind, it's been pretty quiet about that lately, but it was really hitting me hard about this, the beginning of this year. And, I said, well, that's not like what life is doing right now. That's not what life has for me right now. And who knows, maybe life will give me that opportunity again. I have no idea. I don't know. What I'm learning is learning to surrender to life. But when I reflect about taking this topic, it's funny that this student said this today, because this last week I was reflecting exactly on this idea of how my dance school project started back in 2007. And the fact is, it wasn't from my initiative. None of it was from my initiative. Because that's not how things work for me. That's not how life works in and through me. It just doesn't. I've not been designed with any consistent motor energy. None. Zero. So, you tell me, how are you going to, if you have a car without a motor, then how is that car going to tow anybody? If you have a tow truck without a motor, you can't tow anybody else with that truck, right? There's got to be something outside of it that pushes it, brings the energy. You got to put the motor in it. You got to borrow a motor, stick it in, and then that truck, can take people along on a ride. And that's what it's like for a projector with no motors. I might have a vision. I might have, a sense inside of me of what could possibly come out of me, but somebody else has got to bring it out. And that is how things happened with swing dancing in Portugal in 2007. I had already been for 4 years. I had been living in Portugal for 4 years, and I had been speaking enthusiastically about the dancing to a couple of people that I knew. I had one friend who was always saying, why don't you get something started? You should get something started. Why are you only talking about it? You need to do something. Go. And he was throwing the whole, you want it, you go make it happen idea at me, which doesn't work if you're a projector with no motors. It doesn't work that way. It was nice. I felt like excited when he would talk about that, but then what do I do? I don't know what to do. There's no, you guys, there's nothing in there. There's nothing in there to get it moving. So how did this all get started? It was, I was in dance classes, tap dance classes. And in those classes, I met other students, who liked that kind of music and enjoyed the whole, feeling and texture of those dances from the swing dancing era and from, the early 1900s. And in conversation, it came out that I was doing swing dancing, and they are the ones that pulled it out of me. They were the energy that got things started, because on my own it wouldn't have happened. So I remember one in particular, quite like, oh, why don't you show us? No, and pushing. I mean, she's a very strong, she has a very defined root. And it's really funny, she has the gate of beginnings. I have the gate of growth that meets that to take it forward. So it's like perfect. You know, her pushing to begin something, I could then have the energy to take it forward. Borrowed energy. It's borrowed energy. It's always that way for me. It's borrowed energy. When it goes away, it's done. But, you know, I surfed on that from all of the energy beings around me. And in the beginning, it was just a few, and it was their energy that got things moving. They found a place where we could practice. They were organizing between them. Like, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. What I do is I guide. So I take that energy and I move it in a direction, because I am built for creating direction. I am built for going in a direction. I am built for creating vision. I am built for skillfully sharing patterns for movement. I'm not built for building it, right? So all along the way, it was different people coming in. Then I had a super strong manifestor working for me. So it was her pushing me. Another strong root there, pushing me for a while. And then she brought in a generator to work with me. Very powerful generator who, if you saw the way our charts moved together, you would see like, wow, we had power skills with a vision together. So when we worked together, if you know, we weren't in the same place, but she would be at home working, I would be at home working. If we were online at the same time, she knew what to do because she got my vision and I had energy to do. If I was online without her, I would just feel so like, it was a chore to get things done. And she told me when she was online without me, when I wasn't online there working with her, she would feel lost sometimes. She had the energy, but what does she do with it? And that's how it works. This is how it works, the generator projector thing. You know, and I could go on and on and on, but as I look back and reflect, you know, and when this generator left my school in 2020, I literally could not get off the floor for about a week. It's a feeling. It's a feeling of energetic death. That's how it feels. It's like it's gone. There's nothing. There's no impetus. When she left and I was alone to take care of things, I had no idea how I would get through the rest of the year. It was dark for me because there was no impetus there. Okay. Not directly from her, so I got it from the rest of the team around me, and that sustained me, but it was a chore to get through the rest of the year. So, you know, another student said to me, well, if you want to do it, you just make it happen. This makes sense for a very small percent of the population. If you want to do something, you make it happen. That works for manifestors, for ego manifestors. Ego manifestors are built to do what they want, what they have to do. That's a manifestor. It's an ego manifestor. That's not even a generator, right? So this thing that they sell us, these, you know, you build it, you make it happen, you imagine it, and then you put it into form, but it's a lie. And it's a destructive lie for somebody like me, because we think there's something wrong with us when it doesn't work that way. And then we're pushing, trying to make it happen. It doesn't go anywhere. We're hitting walls constantly. And then our health goes down. And that has been the pattern in my life when I've pushed. against the energy, because the energy is not coming from inside me. And what I see right now with relation to this topic is I have a small group of jazz students, and it's their energy that really keeps us going. I'm just guiding it. I'm just teaching. I'm just moving with the energy that they bring. And a few of them wanted to learn partner dancing. So what happened? They organized between them. Their energy got things moving. They invited me, and then we're gonna do a series of classes for a small group. And it's like, when I look at this is how all of it got started in 2007. It started in this way, the exact same way. Right now things are happening. I'm not saying this is gonna go, and I don't even want the scale that I had before. But what I'm saying is, this is how things work for me. This is how things work for a classic, non-motorized projector. Is the animation comes from without. I'm here like, I don't even know what I'm made for. I've got stuff in me. I can't really see it. I can't really get to it because I'm the way that my cognition is. It's like I'm not focused. I'm not strategic. I don't know really what I'm here for. I don't know. I feel the depth inside me, but it's like I can't get it out. Other people need to come pull it out from me. And those other people it's energy. We need, if you can just step back and just look at us, we're all energy, right? Nikola Tesla told us to think of the world. If we really want to understand the universe, we need to think in terms of frequency, energy, vibration. Bing, bada, boom. That is it. So frequency, energy, vibration, how does this work? I have the frequency of an inspiring, talented witness. Those are my channels, right? I'm an investigative martyr, a martyr of my investigations, to find things out within a pattern, to come to some kind of skill that I can share. I am about sharing. I'm really all about sharing and empowering people to find their own direction by speaking about the things that I witness in my own life and in the life around me, as I am experimenting with things and getting skills and depth in my skills. That's me. There's no motorized energy attached to that. It's just like awareness hanging out there where it needs an energy coming in. When that energy comes in, boom, that I could do. Got to be careful I don't do too much. But there's no impetus inside me to get something started. And if you want to destroy, the physically and emotionally a classic non-motorized projector, then feed them all the bullshit of how they need to do what they want, find what they want and move it and do it and make it happen. That is how you destroy a projector. Because we will suck that up, since that's all around us. Just have a think for a second. About 70% of the world, generators. Sustained energy if they're responding to something. About 9-10% of the world, manifestors. When they feel the energy moving in, they go. They are the initiators. They are the ones that are making things happen, and the rest of us are following along. You got a small percentage that are reflectors. It's a whole other story. And then you've got about 22% projectors. But even within projectors, there's a small percentage of us who have no access to any consistent kind of energy whatsoever. We're called classic projectors. There's no root, there's no sacral, there's no emotional energy, there's no willpower. None of it. It comes and it goes, it comes and it goes. Other people are bringing that. Other energies are bringing that energy in. And so the world, yeah, social media, advertisement, marketing, which seeps down through everything, because it is the programming that we're all living in, this not self-programming field, tells us that we need to make things happen. And it's not just human design, but the Tao tells us that you don't make anything happen. What you do is you accept the movement of life. And the movement of life is based on how energy moves to energy and connects and moves along together, and then splits off, and then connects with somebody else and splits off. And every being is energy in different ways. Projectors are free awareness. They get invited for a ride and then get let go. And that's it. That's how it works. And so, yeah, I think, I from conversations I have with people who've only seen me from the outside, in the context of where I'm surrounded by energy beings, and where, I was leading the dance school for many years, is they've seen me as this really powerful, get up and go woman who just makes everything happen. And so, why don't I do that again? And if I flip it and show you the behind the scenes, didn't work like that. It never worked like that. What you saw was me on steroids. What you saw was me in the context of being surrounded by energy and amplifying that, because I'm an amplifier, huge amplifier. That's what my centers, my open motors do, is they amplify all of that energy. And so you see someone who looks like they're on speed, on steroids, because also I'm only now learning when enough is enough. I'm only now learning how to let the energy go and not be too drugged on it, because it's like a drug. And it's a learning process of deconditioning from that, and deconditioning from the what's the word I want? The abuse. Yeah, the abuse of it, the abuse of the energy. And learning to use it when it's there and let it go when it goes. And that's the behind the scenes. That's the way that it's always worked, because it can't work in any other way. You're not going to change my design. My design is my design. What changes is how comfortable in that I am, how comfortable I can be in my skin or not, how much I can relax in the way life is, instead of trying to make it what it's not. And right now, life is not a big tidal wave for me. Right now, life is a real quiet pond. It's real quiet, it's real still. And that stillness has a real purpose. I feel that, because you can't even imagine how many times I want to move, I want to do something, I want to say something, I want to, and my body just goes, no. And it's as clear as day that my body says, shut up and sit down. Shut up and be quiet. Just relearn how to be still. Be still and know. Be still and feel. Be still and be aware. Be still and be in the flow. Not pushing, not forcing. It's Wu Wei. Non-forcing. It's really truly living in the Tao. There's no forcing. There is a natural movement that's happening. And I'm caught up in that movement, and then I'm let go at times. And then I'm caught up and I'm let go. And that being caught up are the invitations. Some are correct, some aren't. So With the correct ones, I get caught up and I move there, and I'm in somebody else's film, I'm in somebody else's movie, I'm doing somebody else's life for a while, and then I get uninvited. Okay, back to stillness. Back to just free awareness. And there's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with not rushing out to make what you want to happen. Because here's the thing. I can't trust what I want. I can't trust what I want. Because that's changing all the time. And also my mind doesn't know really what I'm here for. My mind doesn't know really what I'm good for. My mind doesn't know really what's good for me. My mind does not know, but my body does. My inner authority that's like attached to some magical net in the ether. It knows its place in the universe. My inner authority does. It knows where I belong. It knows what's for me, what's not for me. My mind doesn't. My mind can only watch it and make up a lot of stories about it. And so even if I do have something I want to do, I can't trust that want. A want is willpower. It's the ego. I'm not consistent there, so I cannot trust that. And so many things that I've seen in the last year of I want it to be that, I want it to be that, and then it doesn't work, and then I can see like why it couldn't have worked, why it wasn't good for me. You know, in hindsight is 2020. That's what's beautiful. That's what you use your mind for. Go and watch that. Watch your life. Witness it. Watch and see how beautiful this navigation system is when you surrender to it. When we surrender to our strategy and authority, what we're surrendering to is the Tao. We're surrendering to this way of being that's non-forcing. That's being part of how energy in this universe, this holosphere, I don't know what this is. I don't know. But there's a certain way that energy moves. And the mind cannot grasp it. The mind is behind. It's behind everything. It's after the fact. The mind is always after the fact. Yeah, give it a try. Let yourself move from your body and you'll see how your body moves before your mind can make the story about it. You'll start to see there's a disconnect. The mind is slow. It's not as fast as this navigation system. Anyway, just some reflections